It is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. I'm going to do my recap. Um, yeah, I'm up $1,300.98. Um, $1,398, $1,400 basically, but not without adversity again. I was down $1,500. As you can see here, I was down basically $1,500 and I made it all the way back. I just came back from the gym, so I'm feeling a little bit better about myself. But fuck, man, another day where I just not performing well. Same as here. I was down $1,500, made all the way back to 1,400. I'm a bit frustrated. And we'll go into the trades and what I did right, what I did wrong, and what I'm starting to feel is like there's a little bit of a change in momentum. There's a change in like sentiment, where a little bit of there were more breakouts going on. There was more clear moves from the get go in the first couple of minutes, and it seems like these days, these last few days, maybe the past week and change, there's been some price discovery, I would call it, a little bit of like price discovery and not straight moves from the get-go. There's been like some choppiness. There has been a move towards one direction, right? But it didn't happen in the first couple of minutes. I mean, maybe yesterday it did a little bit of riot and so on, but yeah, it's been like a little bit more on the choppy side. Like it comes up here, it fails, it comes back down, it comes up. Yesterday it was more of a straight move, okay, but today again the same. There was a couple of like playbook setups here that I had, and maybe I mismanaged them. I probably didn't mismanage it. I probably chased it a little bit, and I didn't let it play out as well as I should have. Obviously, but yeah, a little bit of price discovery, like you see here, like this. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, MRA would have just blasted off. Basically blasted off, and today just pulled back. Obviously, we had a riot over here, so that was a mistake on my behalf. Not judging the situation, but you never know. You have between R4 and R5 this playbook setup where R4 is support, and then they can rip up. And spread was a little bit big today in both MRA and Riot. I mean, right now it's about what is it, like 6 cents, 10 cents, but early in the morning it was 20 cents in the first few minutes, right? So that led me to get stopped out on 3 times. So I took 3 trades. Three of them got stopped out at the 50 cent loss, mark, and that was a risk that was willing to take, and I'm pretty much like setting myself. That's the risk that I'm setting for this stocks in this price range and so on. I mean, then I may or may not adjust it depending on where the stop is. But yeah, I got stopped out 3 times, and then eventually my game plan worked. My idea worked. I pretty much stuck to my profit target. In one occasion, I didn't, and in another trade and plug, I hesitated, and not that I hesitated, but I kind of I covered when I didn't have to. I should have let it play out a little bit more, and I missed a point and a half move. Let's just say a point move at a bare minimum, like a 40 cent move, and at the maximum, like a point and a half move, right? So, I mean, I'm gonna get into the trades. Let's just see. So first, I started at it with MARA. So my first trade was short. Why did I go short? Well, Riot was falling down, but I went a little bit too quickly. So this is more or less a setup that I made. I made a mistake, like not the same, not at the same time, but I made this mistake in FUBO yesterday. So I went short 37.45. So that was way too. It was far away. It was far away. I wanted to get over here. I wanted to get for this. I wanted to get close to the 80s because there was a big gap down. I wanted to hedge my trade against the R4 and the 9 EMA, but yeah, it didn't work out well, and I gapped up. I got stopped out 37.92. So right before, it's a good stop. That's why you should have a point. a hard stop there, So I got stopped out 37.45. Uh, like 40 seconds later. I mean, literally 40 seconds later, down 500. I'm like, okay, perfect. Then I go short again, MARA. I get short at 37.70 because I was going then a short based on the daily open. So I was rushing this trade. You see, this trade I was already rushing, but it was very telling because the just the level two seemed very weak. It just seemed very weak, the level two. So, yeah, it was just telling me like, hey man, it's very very weak, and I could still see like Riot. I mean, Riot was already finding a little bit of support. This is a playbook setup in Riot. I mean, I'll take a look at it now because that's what I traded later. So it was a little bit of a playbook setup. Yeah, with an R4 support. But these stocks are not that strong anymore, so I'm gonna have to be vigilant about that and have to adjust. Yeah, so I went short again. My stop was like I'm gonna stop out if it breaks 38, because if not, I mean if it does, it might spike up high, and this is a playbook set that I have. When it opens between R4 and R5 and it holds R4, and it breaks the daily open, it might be a good opportunity for a long, right? So I got stopped out of 38, lost another $300. At this point, I'm down $800. And then I went long at Mary for the same exact reason. Playbook setup, it broke 38. It doesn't seem the strongest, but hey, I mean, who am I to deny the price action that I'm seeing? Went long, didn't like what I was seeing, got stopped out, 30 cents. I mean, 3 cents, sorry, just $30 there, not a big deal. And then I went long Riot. Why did I go long Riot? I'm like, okay, playbook setup is forming here, right? It gapped down, it's holding, right? It's holding above, it's holding R4. You have these like three kind of like resistance, sorry, support elongated candles here, so there may be a chance to retest the daily open, right? Maybe we're going to see, big engulfing candle. We may see this hold and then come up. So I went long Riot 54.60, 54.60. So literally at the high, almost at this candle. I was anticipating the hold and then a rip up, as I just saw in MRA, but that didn't happen. MRA pulled back, Riot pulled back, stopped out 53 cents, so 50 cents at 54.07. So see how important it is to have these stops, man. 54.07. So right over here. If not, dude, that would have been $1,100 lost, or even more. So it's so important to have these hard stops, so important. But at that point, I'm down 1,500. So now 1,500, I'm like, oh man, come on. Yesterday I had a small losing day after being in the green. On Monday, I'm coming back from a minus $1,500 day up to 1,400. It's like, holy shit, dude, again, bro. Like, what the fuck? And especially because I timed these entries. I wanted to go short MRA. Should have just gone short Riot, I guess. But no, So, damn. But I'm like, dude, I have to take this trade. Like, MRA just looks like it wants to come down. So I went short MRA. Went short again. This price 37.61. So right after the break of, what is that, 9:35, right? So right over here at 9:35, 37.61. I'll go short $1,100. I add 400, and then my profit. Okay, I take $400 at 36.81. So right over here, right when it broke down the lows, and then I let it play out. Then I'm happy with how I let it play out. To a certain degree, you see this last 600 shares, my target was R3, if not R2, and it's just saying because I let these $600, yeah, that was 6 times 6 is fucking a 30, so 36. So I left another like 300 and like $400 and change on the table. My target should have been here. So I think I have to adjust like a couple of things. So I have to take like 50% off at the target, or 60% off of my position at the target level, and let the rest play out a little bit more, which is more or less what I did here. But still, these exits were good. I took 300, 200. I mean, this one was not so good, but it was, right at the breakdown. So hey, why not, pay myself a little bit, especially because I'm down $1,500. So at least to mitigate the loss of the day. And then, I took some around here, 36.10, 36.12. So basically almost at the low of day. And then the last one, not so good at 37.10, which is honestly pretty high, to be honest. That is not a good exit. Should have maybe been here, maybe been here. Not good, especially for my last 600 shares, which was almost half of my position. Not too good. But then I went short MARA again. I went short 37.22 because I realized there's more downward momentum. So I went 37.22 at 9.53. So right around here. Didn't really like what I was seeing. I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is not entirely a playbook trade, right? This is not. I'm getting a little bit sloppy here. I may give back some profit. You never know if this thing is going to go back to R4 and then maybe it's going to pull back, but I don't want to have to sit through the pain of, losing $700, $800 more. I don't want to have to go through that. So I covered 50 bucks. Then I went short again. I'm like, shit, now I'm getting really sloppy. The momentum was showing that it was going to come down, but so I do now. I'm getting sloppy. Lost $140 there. And then I went short plug. So I went short plug, 1,000 shares. I saw this trade around here. I saw it here, but I was deep in the hole, and it was on the other side of my screen, so it wasn't that clear, but I like this setup. I saw it here too. I should have gone short here. Why did I like it? Because, you see basically two shooting stars, that cannot be more clear that it is going to come down. Two shooting stars, in an overextension, in a stock that is coming down. Right. Well, it was coming down pre-market. Okay, from the previous day close, it was right. At a small percentage gain, one percentage gain, but still weak. So I didn't go short. Then I saw it here. Didn't go short either. I was gonna go short here, but I'm like, no, it's at the daily open. It's at a resistance level, a support level, right over here. I don't like it. So after seeing this failure, then I did go short. So I went short at 9.56. So right over here, at 42.18. So right for the break of the daily open, and I was busy with MRA because I went short again. But I let this trade play out. And well, I let this play out somewhat, right? Because I got short here, and I parceled 500 at 47.45. Because this is L4, which is a strong support level. So I was thinking, well, maybe it doesn't get to L4 and it bounces up, and at least I want to take some profit. But my target should have been L4, because if it's going to bounce somewhere, it's going to be around L4, or at least I should have put it like 47.10 or so. That should have been my exit. But I exit at 47.45 or 47.28. So, and then it had another leg down. So not the best execution. That is going to remind me that, hey, target level, put your target. And then now I discovered also how to put the buy button. I was trying to do this and I was making mistakes. That was a mistake. I just wanted to, because I was doing the chart trading in TradeStation. I just wanted to, put limit prices on the chart in TradeStation. So next time I'm going to do that, let it run a little bit more. So there I missed. Honestly, I missed like $400, 400, $500, just reaching my target. Obviously, there was a point and 20 cents more after that. It did come back, and now I guess it's approaching the lows, isn't it? Yeah, it's approaching the lows again. So, but that's gonna be another one that I'm gonna have to look at. So took it all the way from here to here, I guess, right from 42.18. How much did I make in plug? Not that much. $800. Okay. Not bad. And then my other trade in MRA. My other trade in MRA was okay. So I went short over here again at 36.91. So chasing it, a little bit. If you can see, my first entry was 37.22 on 9.53, but then it was just proving that I wanted to come down. So a little bit of a late entry, 36.91. So right around here, right? 10.0. No, right around here. No. Yeah, right around here, 9.58. So I went short 36.91. I sat through a little bit. This pulled. It reached my target a little bit, but I didn't take any partials. Didn't I? Did I take any partials? No. I wanted to see it come back to R2. It just seemed like on the 5 minute, it just seemed like a very, very viable that it was gonna get back to R2. So I guess I went short in this candle. The 9 EMA, wasn't it was just below the 9 EMA. You saw this indecision candle, so I really wanted to see it get back to get all the way down to R2, and so it did. So I went short. I could have added, didn't at that time of the day I didn't want to add that much. I covered 200. I covered 236. So basically almost at my target. 35.90, another at my target. 36.06. And then I covered around this consolidation. I wanted to see if it was gonna come down, if it can reach. I wanted to see that it reached the previous day close. That would have been what that was my price target at that time, but I wasn't gonna let it come up. I wasn't gonna let it get back to my entry price or none of that. So put the stop loss above this consolidation that I saw here, 36.19, got failed. Perfect. I mean, not perfect, but pretty good because it did end up coming back to the daily open. At this time, I was already in the gym. So, another $1,400 day. So this puts me up the month and the week. It's the first week of the month. What is it, like 2,500 bucks? So, not bad. But look, I don't like this. I don't like this, man. I don't like the $723 average loser. I mean, it seems like every month my average loser is going up. I don't like that. I tried to short RKT. I really wanted to get our shares to short for RKT, but my broker didn't have shares to short, unfortunately. I wonder if they could have them now. Maybe they do now, but you see, I wanted to. RKT was really my main candidate. That's what I really wanted to short today. I mean, because it was coming down, from up. Yesterday it was up tremendously. What I did want to see is I was thinking that maybe it can have like a rally up, but man, this is like a perfect setup for a short, man. Perfect. L3 to L4, right? I mean, this, go with 2,000 shares, 1,000, that's 4,000 bucks, man. Sometimes I cannot get these shares to short, which is unfortunate. I know GME had some action. I wasn't looking at GME today. Didn't like the pre-market action, although you never know what's going to happen with GME. So, I mean, this was another, kind of, just 2-minute action there. That would have been kind of good, I guess. Maybe here would have been a good option to get in. Oops, I'm looking at my other, screen. Sorry. Yeah. GME had some good action over here, like a nice breakout. Maybe here, for the resistance of the daily open, that would have been another good entry that I probably would have taken. Although who knows. So yeah. Takeaways. Patience is number one. I think I've been probably entering these trades too soon. What happened on let's see what happened on Monday. So on Monday, FSL. Yeah, I rushed. I went long here. It seems like for the same setup that I was trying to play today on the long side with Riot and MRA. So that didn't work out. Let's see FSL. I'm gonna put the trade ideas on my other screen so I can take a look at what's going on. So FSL, let's put the 3-day. Let's see what these 2 days have been, Okay, so FSL, yeah, big gap down. I tried to go long here, it didn't work out, got stopped out. So that trade didn't work out. Then I tried to go plug long with the same setup. That's what I tried to do. And okay, my risk was 500 bucks. Something happened with the stop or it didn't work out. But I was going for kind of like the same setup with MRA. It's opening up between R4 R5. That is a highly probable breakout point, or so it has been these past few weeks. And it is, if the stock is strong, it has a good probability of, if it breaks out from going to R4 to R5, if the setup is right. But in this case, it wasn't. I tried to go for the breakout 53. I went long 52.98, got stopped out 51.87. So literally all the way down here. Because, like I said before, I tried to stop out. I tried to put my stop even higher. It got canceled. I don't know what happened. Took a big hit there, and then I went short Riot. that was a good trade. I mean, sort of. Well, again, I was down like 1,400 bucks at that point, you know. But I went short Riot. Where did I go short Riot? Oh yes, I went short Riot here for the break of the daily open. Got stopped out. So at this point, I'm down like 1,800 bucks or so. I'm like, man. And then I went short again when the failure was proven. So you see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, the hard stop of the Ortison's order that I always have. But then again, you have to have it. What this means is that my entry was poor, basically. And I should have, wait a little bit more. That was what my intuition was telling me, is to wait a little bit more in this trade. So yeah, and then I was able to go short, and I did kind of hit the target, kind of. So then I took another good trade in GME. So yeah, what this is gonna show me is that I need a little bit of patience. I need a little bit of patience to let things play out. I was jumping the gun. Working on setup that have worked for the past few weeks, but it seems like they're not working so much. I was going, trying to go, for the breakout here, executing fast and stuff, and I was trying to do something very similar today. So I was going short really quickly, over here, not letting things play out, So tomorrow and for this week, and we'll see how next week goes and how, if the climate changes or not. I'm gonna be more patient. I'm gonna let the setups play out, or if not, I'm gonna go smaller size right at the open. Smaller size. Test the waters, get a heads up. Something like I did in Riot. Riot yesterday I went short $700 over here. That was a great setup. And I exited too soon. I should have let that play out, but I went $700, 700 shares instead of 1,000. So I mean, maybe just not drastically, but just cutting the size a little bit, And so I think that's gonna be my game plan, and be a little bit patient. And I'm having a bit of a problem here, because I don't like losing more than $750 in a day. Yesterday, I was down almost, I was up almost 600, down 800, got back to minus 100, 800, then I ended up $400 basically. But Monday and yesterday, and even the week prior, the week prior, I was down one day, $3,700, and I made it all back. I was down $3,700, almost 5,000 in real. 5,000 realized at one point. So there seems to be a change in trend in these setups. So I have to be aware of that. I have to look more at the level two, I guess, and not trust just blindly the setups and take the positions. So, well, like I said, I don't like losing more than $750. But if I would have just walked away with minus $1,400 these past last 3 days, I wouldn't have gone in there. I would have, just quit at 750, but I wouldn't have been making money. So it's a double-edged sword, because I got lucky the other day that I recovered all that money. I don't know if I got lucky today and and on Monday. It's part luck, part ability, part reading the market, and just really maybe being more patient and anticipating the moves, and letting the target play out. So I have to be careful with that. I have to be careful, and yeah, maybe one more loss, maybe $2,000 loss would be the deal breaker. The moment where I'm like, that's it, dude, I'm done. But the problem is that I think I have to be more patient again, because I'm getting into trades and I'm just trying to jump on them and not really letting them play out, and or not letting not letting the price action and the direction of the trade play out, and I'm just getting chopped out a little bit. So I do have to be more patient. I'm going to be more patient. I said that word many times a day, but patience is the key. Sometimes you have to be more aggressive. Sometimes things are just gapping up, and sometimes you just have to be more patient and let price discovery, like, kind of tell give the tail of the tape, basically. Look at this. This is another, wow. OCGN just cracked a point and wow, 10% in like 3 bars. Damn. Yeah, OCGN was the other stock that I was looking at. At that point, I couldn't go long. I was down too much. But this was another. You see, like the same thing. It wasn't a straight line, okay, but it did grind up. Could have been another, playbook trade. But yeah, that's gonna be my recap for today. Yeah, that's it. I'll input my trades. I'll input my strategies that I took and so on manually in TraderView. I'm putting tags on all the trades, and yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, calm, patience, let the things play out after the first few minutes. That's a game plan for tomorrow. Okay. Have a good day if anybody watches this.